I still feel like I'm cheating. And pick a card.
Good girl, Maggie. Good job.
So let's go and do our very first roll. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rochelle, and I cannot believe that we're already at June. This year is now starting to fly by, and I don't really know what to go and make of it. But since we're at a new month, this actually means that we need to go and play our TBR game. And I know what you're saying. You're probably like, wait, Rochelle, you're still playing that TBR game? And yes, I am. I just took a brief hiatus on it because April, I was taking a little bit more of a break, doing things a little bit more chill without having the pressure of a TBR game. And then in May, I was a co-host for Escape the Readathon, and just with how fast-paced that readathon is, I didn't want to subject myself to a hard set TBR because there was no guarantee I would be able to stick to it. And I just didn't want to mess with it and risk losing points, especially if I didn't read books. Now, that's going to give us a little bit of a segue into this really quick housekeeping piece. I am going to make some changes to defend the TBR, and this is my TBR game, and I'm allowed to do that. So we're making a few changes. One of them is I'm not having the 100-point limit to go and reach, meaning that we could go and start over, pick a new monster, all of that stuff. I'm scratching that, and I'm going to decrease the threshold to 50 points instead. When I was going and looking at this, I was like, I have all these other monster cards and I really want to get the chance to go and check them out, go and battle them and everything. And having 100 points is just a lot harder to go and achieve. And I feel like that's also just adding to my burnout for the game. So we're going to lower it to 50 for now. And if it still feels like it's too high, then I might go and lower it down to 25. We'll see how this feels, but I think this will be a change for the better for this game and just gives us a little bit more fun to go and see like how quickly we can go and attack these monsters and reach that number, and then which monster we're going to go and face next. I hope you like this. I feel like I do, and honestly, it's like I said earlier, it's my TBR game, so I make the rules for this, and I created this board game, so I think it works. So as you know, for the month of June is also the Tarot Readathon, and I have been doing a bunch of readathons, but this is the first one this year that I'm not co-hosting, that I'm joining. So it's really nice because I get to kind of take a little bit of a back seat on things, especially since this is a readathon that I'm not familiar with, and I've always wanted to join it in the past, but sadly always missed whenever the readathon started. Granted, I've only been on booktube for 2 years, but still, I feel like I still miss it every single time. So I'm going to be on Team Swords, which some of my lovely co-hosts from Escape the Readathon, such as Alexis and Bo, are going to be co-hosting Team Swords. So I decided to go to that team, even though I feel like I'm cheating on my zodiac sign because I'm a Capricorn sun and a Cancer moon and Cancer rising. So usually I tend to go with those signs, but neither of those signs are in Team Swords. It has Libra, and I guess since my partner is a Libra, I'm going to be cheering on his sign. I still feel like I'm cheating on my zodiac signs, but it's okay. It's okay. We have a really pretty bookmark and everything, which I might have ordered, not gonna lie. But if you stay tuned until the end, I'm going to go and do my tarot card pulls for that. But first, we're going to go and do the stuff for Defend the TBR. So stay tuned. I'll also have timestamps so you know which parts to go and jump around to. Let's go and see how I did in March. So I had to really go and look at my list. I usually keep track of which roll equals which card that we pulled, what book we got, and everything. So when we finished the month of February, we had a total of 30 points, and we're definitely getting closer to that 50-point range that I went and changed around. First off, just in case if we need a refresher, because I know I definitely did, the monster that we were going and attacking was the Beholder. I'll put a better image up here because he doesn't really want to show up that well, but we're attacking the Beholder, and this was one that my partner actually created the prompts for, and I'm not kidding when I tell you that they did not hold back. Those prompts were terrifying, and that's probably another reason why I'm like, let's go and get the amount of points we need to switch to a different monster, because oof, I don't know if I'd be able to go and succeed with that one. So when I was looking at my list, because I had a little list for myself to help keep track of everything, the first card that we got that would have gained us points was a short rest card, and this one says we get points for every 200 pages read. So this is plus 7 points per 200 pages. It's only valid for one book. The book I had originally planned on using using it for didn't end up working, and you'll see that a little bit later, but I did definitely go and use this card because I wanted to get those additional points. The book I planned on using it for, which was The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole, this was a pet pick, and this would have given us 5 points, but I did not read it, so this gave us a minus 5 points. So far we're not doing hot with the list of books that we have so far. The next one was Draw a Card. I had to do one that had one word in the title. I went with Conform by Ariel Sullivan. Really enjoyed this book. I got a total of 6 points for this one, and then I also used our short rest card that gave us additional 7 points for each 200 pages. So I was able to go and get a total of 14 books on top of my 6 points for this book. Then we had to go and read a Love It or Lose It card. This one would go and give us a total of 3 points. I decided to go with the Spite House for this one, and we did read it, so I did get a total of 3 points for this one. And then we also landed on another draw card. This one had to be a gifted book, and I decided to go with Grey After Dark by Noelle W. Ahili. I still don't know if I'm saying that last name right, probably not, but I decided to go with this one because I was in a little bit of a thriller mood, and if you've seen any of my recaps, you would know that I finished this one. I really loved it. I think I even rated it 5 stars. So in that month, I had a lot of really great reads. I absolutely enjoyed this book, and best of all, it gave us a total of 6 points. Then last book we had to read for our March TBR was actually a mood read, which was amazing because I was in the mood to read Daggermouth. This was another book that I absolutely loved, and it also gave us 2 points. So if I did my math right, and who knows if I did because I am horrendous at numbers, I'm good at books, bad at numbers. We ended up finishing our Defend the TBR with a total of 56 points, which means we get a different monster, which was just perfect because I made the changes for the game and we went over it. So we're gonna see which monster we end up going and facing, and let's go and draw the card. Since we're starting a new game, we're gonna draw our new monster. I can't really shuffle these cards, so we're just gonna go about it like this, and let's see which monster we're gonna get. The Kraken, okay. So we ended up going and drawing a new monster card to see which monster we're gonna be fighting this time around to defend our TBR. And this time we got the Kraken. And honestly, it's been a while since I ended up going and designing the cards and a lot of the prompts. So I'm excited to go and see what exactly we have to face with the Kraken when we land on their specific cards. So I have the Kraken prompts right in here. So if we land on a monster spot like you see here, then we will go and draw one of these cards. As a reminder, if you want to know what the rules are and how this game is played, I do have a video I'll link up here that you can go and watch how to play the game, but I'll also have the Google Doc linked below if you want to go and play this game yourself and have the rules as well. We also do have a game key up here that will show how many points each spot is worth. So since we're restarting, we're going to start over on reshuffle, and then we're going to go clockwise on the board. I have our dice here, so let's go and do our very first roll. First one is 3. 1, 2, 3. So we need to move back a space. This is a land card. Read a book set in a school. So for our first card, we landed on a land card spot, and the prompt that we had on this was read a book set in a school. Since June is Pride Month, I really wanted to focus on getting some different queer books and everything like that, but I was really struggling to find any that had queer representation in them. But luckily, when I was looking at this one, it does seem like they are in a school setting. So this book is called No Charm Done by Tori Ann Martin. This book kind of seems a little bit like Golden Retriever and Black Cat. Both girls are in a witch's school, and one of them is a little bit more ostracized by the rest of the students. So I'm really curious to see what this one is about. I'll admit this was 100% a cover buy because I thought it was so cute and beautiful, and I haven't heard anyone talk about this one, so I think this will be our first book that we pick. So who knows, maybe this book could actually fit for something with a Tarot Readathon as well, which would be nice so I don't have to pick a million books next month to go and read. All right, let's do our next roll. We're getting kind of smaller rolls. So this one's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So because this has 2 different prompts on here, we have 2 different modes that I have this game set up in. So one is easy mode and one is hard mode. But since we're playing hard mode, we're not going to go with this prompt on here, and instead are going to draw a monster card instead. So this one says, the Kraken's defenses are down. Read a book with some kind of conflict to successfully attack the creature. If we succeed, we get 4 points. If we fail, we lose 4 points. Let's see what we pick. As you saw, we landed on a spot where we had to go and draw a monster card. And for the monster card, it was asking us to read a book where there's some form of conflict. So I decided to go with Heart Still Beating by Brooke Archer. I've been in a little bit of a more like zombie apocalypse kind of mood. And with this book, one of our characters is dead. Well, sort of. She's been a little bit infected, but at some point it seems like she's no longer infected and she's able to go and be with other people. She's no longer considered dangerous, but she's getting placed to live with her best friend who she hasn't seen since they last had their first kiss. So I'm very intrigued on this, and this is kind of incorporating a few different things that I was hoping to read next month. One being something that's kind of like zombie-ish, and number two, something that is sapphic. So I think we're gonna go with this one, and if we successfully read it, we got 4 points. It's also not too thick of a book, so I feel like it would be a very quick read. All right, let's try our next roll. Ooh, okay, so this time we rolled higher, so we got 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Pet pick! Okay, I will have to pick some books for Nuggie.
Okay. Nuggie. Good girl, Nuggie. Good job.
Okay, so Nuggie picked a book, and honestly, I'm really happy with the book she picked. She picked A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. I originally got this book as an ARC, and then I saw how pretty the sprayed edges were, and I had to go and buy a copy for myself. And I've just been really wanting to go and read this book, but just it hasn't really happened. And I know the next book is coming out, I think, within the next couple of months, so the timing is perfect. And I also kind of feel like just the cover of this gives a little bit of the tarot vibes and at least matches with a lot of the colors in the Tarot Readathon, so I'm very excited for this one. Nugget did amazing. All right, last roll. We have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh gosh, okay, so this means we reshuffle all the decks. All right, let's try that again. And we got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another monster card. So you notice the Kraken is guarding a chest. Risk trying to get it by reading a book you're intimidated by. Succeed, bookstore date. Fail, temporary book ban. Oh no. Ooh, this is really hard. I don't know if I succeed, I might change away from the bookstore date. And if anything, have that set up for later in the year, because I have been so bad staying true to this since I broke my book ban for Indie Bookstore Day. So yeah, that might have to be a different reward, but let's see on the book. All right, so y'all aren't gonna be surprised by this pick because I've been trying to read it and it just hasn't happened, but I really do want to read it, and I feel like I'm very much in the romantasy mood. I do have a fun little video that is going to involve a few booktubers that some of you might know that have been recommending some different romantasy books for me. But for this challenge, because this book is chunky and is one that intimidates me so much, we're gonna try again with the Book of Azrael. I don't know if we're gonna actually make it happen. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but I'm gonna try again. This book is so chunky. There are so many pages in it. I wanna say it's close to 700. Okay, it's not 700, it's 591. You know, still close. It's still really chunky. So this is the one that we're gonna go and read for this one. I know for Succeeding, it says that we go on a bookstore date. I might change that just because I'm trying to not spend money on books, and I just did horribly in the month of May. So if anything, we'll maybe like do something else fun for that option instead. But this is going to be our last book that we pick for Defend the TBR. Now let's go and see what the cards are going to pick for the Tarot Readathon. But as I said in the beginning, I am so excited for the Tarot Readathon. I've always wanted to go and join, and now I'm finally getting the chance. So I'm going to be on Team Swords. So I have my placemat printed out. I used to do a lot of card readings years and years ago, probably more so in my early 20s and mid 20s, and a little bit bit of Rochelle lore is that one time going and getting a tarot card reading at a Ren fair actually convinced me that I needed to leave my boyfriend at the time. Granted, I was already kind of 1 foot out the door, but going and having that reading and just kind of seeing a lot of the things that it was saying there, I was like, you know what? You're right. I should not be in this very toxic and narcissistic relationship that was just getting a little bit too scary for me to continue staying. When I did my card readings, a lot of the time I tended to go and stay closer to oracle decks. Those were the ones that usually tended to resonate the most with me, and I used my Moonology deck. This is one that I absolutely adored. I did so many readings on this, and it really depended on the current phase of the moon for what kind of spread I'd do. So this was one of my all-time favorite decks. But since this is a tarot deck based type of thing, we're gonna go and actually use my Lucid Dreams Beginner Tarot deck. This one is absolutely stunning, very, very beautiful, and I also double checked on this because I did buy it quite a few years ago, but the art that you're gonna see in this when I have it laid out is not AI. So this art is not AI at all. Just in case if you're curious about this while you're seeing my deck and have questions regarding that, not AI at all. It has been confirmed, and I'll include a little bit of a snippet down here if you need to go and read that piece. But if you're also interested in these decks, I'll go and have the information down in the description just in case if you're not able to read it when I'm holding it up this way. So let's go over to the other screen and see what cards we get on our spread. All right, so here's our placemat. My printer wasn't really working with me too well, so we have it this way, and it's not in the pretty colors that Deja had designed, but I'm so excited for this. So I have everything printed out this way so that we can look to see what exactly we'll be reading with the prompts. So I think what we'll do is we'll go and do the drawings for the cards, but just so you can go and see what some of them look like. They have designs like this and have this gold foiling. Oh, Queen of Wands is stunning. King of Wands, Four of Pentacles. Yeah, these cards are just so pretty, and I haven't had the chance to go and use them, so this will be my first time. Now, I have very, very tiny hands, if you can't tell, so I'm gonna have to like do some interesting shuffling for this. So what you're gonna see is not like the typical shuffling, because I can't hold them all in my hands. All right, and then I usually will just kind of do this and pick a card. Alt prompt: choose a book that matches the card's prompt or whose page numbers ends in this card's number. So this is a Two of Pentacles. So I think we're gonna go with the Two of Pentacles on the prompt list. So it's read a book where the character faces a big decision. So this one is actually gonna be a stretch because I feel like a lot of the characters involved are going to have to face big decisions. The book I'm going to go with is Day Zero by Cressley Cole. It's a part of the Arcana Chronicles. So this series basically is about these people that are put together in this competition, and the thing is, all of these players that are in it are based off of different tarot cards, and this competition happens after a certain amount of years, and whoever won the last round has a little bit of a upper hand the next time around because they have all their memories from the previous time. And so with this one, it actually takes place before the next event happens, so you're seeing a lot of the people kind of in their daily lives before this flash happens and they get all of these powers. This is a short story type of thing, but I do really want to go and finish the series. I technically haven't finished the last book because I've been just hanging on to the series and wanting to make it last as long as possible, but I think there's no better time to go and read the series than for the Tarot Readathon, especially considering it very much has a huge focus on the tarot cards. We're going to read this, but kind of combine it with the next book, which is the Arcana Chronicles. This is the 5th book in the series, and it 100% does have the main character facing some really tough decisions. So if this doesn't necessarily work, this one definitely will, and will give me a great excuse to read a few more books in this series. All right, let's go and shuffle again. I'm not gonna have any cards that pop out, sadly, with me going, oh, well, that was a lie. Hang on. So we got the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, we're definitely getting a lot of the Pentacles, which is funny because that's not the team I'm on. So for this one, read a book that will help progress one of your reading goals. It's really funny because we're not on the Pentacles team, but I think Pentacles actually has a lot of the earth signs and has Capricorn, which honestly I would have gone that way if I didn't want to go and support Alexis and Beau. So it's really funny that we're getting those cards, but we got the Seven of Pentacles. So for this one, I am going to go and read a book that matches the card's prompt, just because I really have a lot of catching up I need to do on a lot of different reading bingo boards. So the one that I'm going to try to read is We Came to Welcome You by Vincent Tirado. This is one that I've been trying to get the D&D book club to read, but since we use a spinner wheel, it's completely random, and each time I've submitted this book, it hasn't popped up. So I'm just going to have to go and use this readathon and use this card's prompt as a way to get me to finally read it. This is also a queer book. I believe the author is also non-binary, so this is a book that I've kind of been holding off to for Pride Month because I feel like this would be perfect. All right, and then let's see what the last one is. Like I said, I can't shuffle. My hands are way too tiny, y'all. Okay, we'll just do this again. And I'm feeling like this one. Three of Wands. No swords here. So double points for a book that not only matches the card's prompt, but also has exactly 3 words in the title. That's funny that it asks for 3 words, and we also got Three of Wands. So Three of Wands is read a book set somewhere you've never been, and it needs to have 3 words in the title. 3 words in the title, and then somewhere we've never been. Okay. I found the book. This was honestly so hard. I was looking around my bookshelves, and I felt like all of the books had 4 words or more, and I was like, every one I was thinking that I could do. But then I looked down lower at my zombie shelf, and I found a book that I was going to try to read for escape, but it didn't end up happening, and that is going to be Rust-Colored Rain by Otto Schaefer. I'm so excited. So in order for this one to go and count for double points, it needed to go and have 3 words in the title, which as you can see, it has 3 words in the title. It also needs to take place somewhere that I've never been. And I have never been in Mackinac, Illinois. So this was perfect. I'm so glad because I've been really wanting to read this book as well. So I'm very, very excited. So we might have a little bit of a chunky TBR for the month of June, but I'm honestly really excited. There's a lot of really great picks in here, so I can't wait to go and check them all out. I have a lot of very intimidating books too, but I think this is a great mixture, especially when I'm feeling more mood ready. So we'll see how this goes. I'm so, so excited to go and participate in the Tarot Readathon run by Deja and Noelle, and I've looked through a lot of the different things that they've done, and it's so exciting. It's so beautiful. So if you're also participating in the Tarot Readathon, maybe go and put an emoji that represents your team down in the comments below. I'd love to see a lot of people also on Team Swords. And also, if you're playing Defend the TBR as well, or you're interested in it, let me know as well. I'd love to know if there's other people that have been playing this game, enjoying it, because I've put a lot of work into it, and I'd love to know if other people are enjoying it too. But looks like I'm gonna have to get started on reading a lot of these books. I'm worried, but I'm not in a reading slump, so things should go well, right? Hopefully. Here's hoping. But as always, I want to thank you all for going and watching and being here. I'm so excited to get back and to defend the TBR, and even more excited to go and mess around more with my tarot cards. Like I said, I haven't touched them in years, so they've really been needing some love. But as always, when I wrap up the end of my videos, I want to leave you off with this little reminder to always remember that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. Bye, friends.